Hey cinephiles, Beau Is Afraid is an assembly of anxiety, a four-course Freudian feast, a hilarious and horrifying Homeric odyssey that is already eliciting the polarizing reactions any provocateur could hope for. This is the latest nightmare from writer-director Ari Aster, a messed-up guy who makes movies for messed-up people. Responsible for two of the more effed-up horror films in recent years, Hereditary and Midsommar, which made him one of the prized auteurs in the A24 stable, who have granted him free reign to make what is not only his, but also A24's longest and most expensive film to date. And then you have Joaquin Phoenix center stage, the enigmatic Oscar-winning actor, rightfully regarded as one of the best of his generation, who has turned in one incredible performance after another. To say that Beau Is Afraid had built up a lot of hype in the cinephile community is a vast understatement. Does it live up to Aster's impressive track record? Does this tantalizing team-up of rising auteur and respected actor pay off? Is it worth the considerable gamble for the hottest film studio to emerge over the last decade? Those are all fine queries that I could use as a jump-off point. So why then do I find myself suffering from a case of analytical paralysis? Why am I afraid to review Beau Is Afraid? I think it's because, much like Beau, I spend far too long worrying over what to do and how to do it, that such plans of action ironically lead to inaction, inevitably reaching a point of desperation and scrambling to meet an arbitrary deadline. As an anxious homebody who frets over social interactions and fusses over his well-being, this film made me feel remarkably seen. It was both acutely agitating and thoroughly therapeutic, concocting the sensation that I had just ran for my life while watching someone else's life flash before my eyes.
Why did you lie to me?
Do you want the truth now?
I'm visiting my mother tomorrow. Do you ever wish that she was dead? What?
While the logline for Beau Is Afraid is pretty straightforward, a paranoid man embarks on an epic odyssey to get home to his mother, attempting to describe this film could not leave me more scatterbrained. Perhaps it's best to start with the film's humble origins, the scrappy 2011 short film Beau, which sees a neurotic middle-aged man's trip to visit his mother delayed when his keys disappear from the door. If you told a then 24-year-old Ari Aster that in a decade he would adapt this 6-minute idea into a $35 million 3-hour epic, he wouldn't have believed it. In fact, he still finds it hard to believe. Perhaps nobody has succinctly pitched the film better than Aster himself.
It's like a Jewish Lord of the Rings, but he's just going to his mom's house.
As a ringer, I'll take that bait and run with it. If Beau is Frodo, although his reticence to leave home is straight up Samwise, then that would make the crime-infested city he calls home the Shire, an urban block so filthy and dangerous it would give Tucker Carlson a nightly hard-on. Beau is transplanted into what might as well be a suburban sitcom that we'll name Rivendell. A run through the woods has him stumbling upon a hippy-dippy theater troupe a la Lothlorien. Of course, this would make his mom's house Mordor, and what awaits in the attic is its own Mount Doom. Upending the adage of it's not the journey, it's the destination, Beau Is Afraid boasts a memorable beginning, middle, and end, each tied with sprawling set pieces actualized by production designer Fiona Crombie, Oscar-nominated for her work on Yorgos Lanthimos' The Favorite. There's a striking and poignant animated detour made by Chilean filmmakers Cristobal Leon and Joaquin Cocina. Ari Aster was blown away by their 2018 film La Casa Lobo and specifically sought out their assistance. Among Aster's returning collaborators is composer Bobby Krilic, who scored Midsommar. This time he tucks Beau in with wool blankets of dark ambiance and dreamlike down pillows. Cinematographer Paweł Pogorzelski, whom Aster has been working with since his days at the AFI Conservatory, has swapped the 2:1 aspect ratio seen in their previous films for a 1.85 image that looms large. There's no better way to experience this film than an IMAX where the dystopic streets dominate and the cold ceilings suffocate. Aster's films have unforgettable endings, and this one offers a lingering image that feels designed for IMAX auditoriums. The format further accentuates the palpable fear etched onto Beau's face as it grows from a trickle of anxiety to a full-blown panic attack. Joaquin Phoenix, who I readily cite as the greatest actor working today and the ultimate muse a filmmaker could ask for, has once again thrown his entire self into a role. Beau is weighed down throughout the film, not by an all-powerful ring, but by an all-powerful mother. She She's played by stage legend Patti LuPone, whose smaller stature takes formidable shape in a performance that rivals Joaquin and anchors Beau. No matter how far he goes or how old he grows, he's still a boy with a boatload of shame and repression instilled by a smothering mother. The comparisons to be made with Beau Is Afraid come fast and furious, from Franz Kafka to Charlie Kaufman, from Albert Brooks to Mel Brooks, from Fellini to Tom Green. If I were to make a collage of works that I was reminded of in one way or another, it would include A Fantastic Fear of Everything, Synecdoche, New York, I'm Thinking of Ending Things, The Truman Show, Eraserhead, Mother, The Metamorphosis, Defending Your Life, A Matter of Life and Death, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, The Science of Sleep, Freddy Got Fingered, Spaceballs, The Man Who Planted Trees, Oh Brother Where Art Thou, Taxi Driver, A Clockwork Orange, Dogville, This Is America, and even late-night Adult Swim programming like Tim and Eric and Too Many Cooks. It's such a mix of highbrow and lowbrow that it's more of a big ol' unibrow of cultural touchstones. It might be 2021 a Semitic odyssey, but the film is decidedly uncut. It recalls any number of blank check projects made throughout the history of film, although we need only adjust the rearview mirror to last year to see Damien Chazelle's Babylon, Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu's Bardo, and Noah Baumbach's White Noise. Films that may have fared better had somebody dared to tell the directors no. And while Beau Is Afraid can readily go on the list of films seemingly greenlit by a board of yes men, it can just as readily be seen as a film for a different type of yes man. Yes, yes! Indeed, this is a breed of cinephile already in favor of Aster's films. Beau Is Afraid parades in monogrammed silk pajamas of comedy, drama, and horror, and it wears each piece proudly. And while it's much less a horror movie than Hereditary or Midsommar, in some ways it's the most horrifying film he's made to date, because it will hit closer to home with audiences who are more likely to be plagued by neuroses than dealing with sinister specters and pagan cults. Despite their varying subject matter, Aster's features all feel like kindred spirits, films that all start with the loss of a loved one, leaving their protagonists particularly vulnerable as they pay the toll of mental illness, a trilogy of grief, if you will. Beau Is Afraid was actually meant to be Aster's feature-length debut, which makes sense as it seems more in tune with his short films, which real fans know can be even more messed up. Let's just be glad he didn't adapt The Strange Thing About the Johnsons into a 3-hour epic. Beau Is Afraid is a detailed and deranged descent into madness with two exceptional performances at its core. It's the latest and possibly greatest from a filmmaker whose body of work is usually disturbing but always fascinating. Each one more impressive, provocative, and profound than the one before. I give Beau Is Afraid 4.5 pill bottles out of 5. Beau Is Afraid is currently playing in theaters. It has a 70% on Rotten Tomatoes, a 72% audience score, and a 3.6 average over on Letterboxd. Have you seen Beau Is Afraid? If so, what did you think of the film? What was your viewing experience like, and how would you rank Ari Aster's films? Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you down there. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to Cineflect for video essays, film lists, and more.
I got this!
And click that bell next to the subscribe button if you'd like to be notified anytime I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching. For Cineflect, I'm JS Lewis. Until next time, watch something good.